Sa isang bansang puno ng ingay ng politika at kontrobersya, sino ang nagsasabi ng totoo? Sino ang nasa panig ng bayan? Welcome to Bayang Pinas, ang news channel na hindi takot maglatag ng katotohanan. Dito, pinag-uusapan natin ang mga isyong may kinalaman sa kinabukasan mo, politika, pamahalaan at ang tunay na kalagayan ng ating bansa. Hindi kami bayad, hindi kami bulag. Sa Bayang Pinas, ang boses ng mamamayan ang tunay na headline. Kaya kung sawang-sawa ka na sa mga baluktot na impormasyon at scripted na kwento, dito ka na. Dito sa Bayang Pinas, tayo ang bantay at boses ng bayan. Kung gusto mong manatiling mulat at informed, don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe dahil sa panahon ngayon, ang kaalaman ay kapangyarihan. Ito ang Bayang Pinas, balitang totoo, pusong makabayan para sa sambayanang Pilipino. Tara na't alamin ang tunay na balita.
Sabi niya, ang anumang issue, hindi totoo, na ipupukol kay Zaldico. Oh, ano ba yung issue na yon? Wala pa. Putang inan yan. Sa haba-haba ng panahon na kaliwat kanan ang balita, propaganda, kaliwat kanan na sinasabing itong administrasyon na ito ay lumalaban sa korupsyon, lumalaban dito sa mga ghost control project niya, ghost flood control. Pambira, hanggang ngayon pala wala pang kaso ang animal. Naintindihan nyo ibig ko sabihin, mga kababayan? Wala pang kaso ni isa. Ano yung mga pinagsasabi nila dyan sa social media, sa mga balibalita? Ay wala, pautot lang pala yun. Ganong katarantado itong gobyerno na ito. Ang daming sinasabi na kesyo, labang kami. Sino ba nagsimula ng anti-corruption? Di ba? Si Marcos? Ganyan-ganyan pa sila. Di ba? Pero ngayon, mga kaibigan, wala pala ho. Wala pang demanda. Wala pang nangyayaring demanda. Ang lupit, di ba? Ibang level. Ibang level kayo. Hindi ko talaga maintindihan. Ibang level ho ang ginagawa nito. Sige, pakinggan nga natin. Ito.
Alright, now let's move on to Zaldico. Bakit hindi pa po nakakasuhan si Zaldico?
Yes. As I said, we are proceeding in a very systematic manner with due respect to the constitutional rights of the respondents, including the right of presumption to innocence. Okay.
Yan.
Presently,
Gala.
we have developing a case where Zaldico is involved in possible 16 transactions. Okay? This has not been filed yet with the DOJ. We are making sure.
Yan. Ganda, di ba? Ganda naman yung sinabi niya. May due process, ika nga. Lupit, di ba? Ay, di, totoo naman. Sabi nga sa ating bayan, kailangan ng due process sa mga kakampi. Alam mo, ito wala namang kasalanan tong undersecretary na ito. Wala naman siyang kasalanan kasi may boss naman siya. Diba? Sumusunod lang siya sa utos at definitely sumusunod siya sa nag-appoint sa kanya. Pero alam naman natin, hindi naman kaila sa Pilipinas na ang due process na sinasabi nitong mga to ay lagi lamang doon sa kaalyado. Pero pagkakalaban, mula kay Pangulong Duterte, nung kay Bantag, kay Tebes, kay Pastor Kibuloy, walang due process na naganap. Talagang sabi nga nila, you cannot break the law but you can bend it. Di ba? Totoo, yan ang kanilang prinsipyo. So, dito, medyo parang asaan yung linya na kung saan may due process at kung saan merong bendalo. Hindi kasi alam mo, yun nga yung kinagagalit ng maraming abogado, lalong-lalo na si Senator Marcoleta, doon sa bendalo. Kasi yung bendalo, when and how are you going to apply it? Napakadelikado nun. The law is law. Alam niyo yun, ang batas ay batas. You cannot bend it. You understand what I mean? That is the law. You cannot, alam mo, ito bibigyan ko kayo ng matinding example. And I think most of you, especially those theologically knowledgeable, naiintindihan ito. Di ba? Sabi nga nila, alam mo, nung bata ako, ito walang question ito nung bata ako, tinatanong ko sa sarili ko kasi every Holy Week, nanonood kami nung Passion of Christ o yung, basta yung about sa pangyayari kay Kristo, di ba? Alam naman natin. Tapos hindi ko talaga maunawaan nun. Sabi ko, di ba, He is claiming as God. Bakit kailangan niyang magpapako sa krus? Bakit kailangan niyang magpapalo? Bakit kailangan niyang gawin ang lahat ng bagay na ito? At higit sa lahat, ba't kailangan niyang mamatay? Alam mo, isang lang ang dahilan yan. God is a God of justice. And yan ang pinakamatinding paliwanag sa you cannot bend the law. As a matter of fact, He is God. He can say, okay, patatawarin ko na kayo. Kayong mga makasalanang tao. Oh, mula ngayon, you're forgiven. He can do that. But why Christ has to suffer and die? Because that what is called justice. Since the wages of sin is death, it has to be followed. Someone has to die for our sins. Yun po yun eh. Yun yung bagay na even God did not bend the law. Kailangan matupad yun. Justice must be done. Justice must prevail. Kailangan merong mamatay dahil may nagkasala. If the first man sinned against God, it has to be paid by someone. And no one of us is capable of doing that because we are also guilty of sins. Only one man can do that. Ito yung sinless person, that is Jesus Christ. That's why He died, He suffered. He cannot bend the law. He has to do it. Isipin nyo yun that's how the law must be followed. Yun ang hindi ko maintindihan doon sa bend the law. Kung ang Diyos niya hindi ginawa yun He has to follow it. Kaya He has to send His Son to die for us. You understand? That's why He took the sin and died. So that we might live who believes in Him. Yun yung prinsipyo na you cannot bend the law. Tapos, may isang darating na sasabihin, okay, you will not break the law but you can bend it. Kaya naiinis ang tao. Naintindihan ninyo? Kaya naiinis ang tao kasi, ano to? Bigla ka magsasalita ng bend the law. Tapos, ngayong mga kaalyado mo na, o yung mga dati mo ng kaalyado, biglang may due process na. Pero pag yung mga maliliit nating kababayan, yung mga ating kababayan na nagnakaw lang na hindi na kailangan ng due process yan, dire-diretso na yan, nyariin na yan. Tapos lahat ng mga oposisyon, wag na padaanin sa due process yan. Pasensya na po pasensya na Yusek, I'm not against you but against your bosses. Ganito lang kasi, hanggang you cannot explain to us na etong due process ay hindi nasunod kay Pangulong Duterte. Even the Supreme Court says that. Hindi man sinabi ng Supreme Court na directly using the Duterte's case. Pero alinaw na sinabi ng Supreme Court about extradition. He has to face the court. Second, he can bail. Andun yun, alinaw nun, May panahon siya para magpaliwanag. Supreme Court na po nagsabi niyan. And that is exactly what happened to PRRD. biglang dinala. Hindi dumaan sa korte, hindi binigyan ng chance makapag bigay ng counter affidavit. Simple lang naman yan eh. In any case, whether it's crime or civil, hahayaan ng korte nang magbigay ng counter affidavit. Doon pa nga lang sa fact na sinabi ninyo na yung opisyal ng DOJ na kasama doon sa nanghuli kay Pangulong Duterte ay quote-unquote as a justice or court, doon pa lang sablay na eh. But again, let's just assume it's true. Let's just assume na, sige, pinayagan ng batas yan kahit isang malaking katarantaduhan. But still, the law says, kailangan mabigyan siya ng opportunity sumagot. Magbigay ng kanyang counter affidavit. Did you allow that to happen? Yusek? Di ba hindi? I know it's not you. It's your boss. But still, kaya nga, marami sa amin ang naiinis at nabibuisit dyan sa salitang due process. Hindi nyo binigay yan sa Pangulong nagmalasakit sa taong bayan, sa mga Pilipino. Hindi nyo ibinigay tapos ngayon, puro kayo due process. Nalantaran ng nakikita natin ng mga ebidensya dito sa tao na ito. Duterte supporter lang po ba ang nagbulgar niyan? Hindi. From the engineers, from the contractor, even from his security aide, kasamahan niya sa Congress, binulgar yan. And yet, wala pang kaso.
Gago!
Kasakit, di ba, sa Pilipinas? Matindi.
That all the areas are covered with sufficient evidence, but we are presently developing this. Right now, the bits and pieces of evidence coming from the whistleblowers are already sufficient. But until and unless they have signed the MOA with the WPP, Witness Protection Program, and they have volunteered formally the affidavits to constitute their testimony to be given against the proponents, including Zaldico, then we cannot yet make this part of the evidence because they have to voluntarily offer this testimony. And we are leading to that. We are concluding within the next few weeks the memorandum of agreement with the whistleblowers, with the main whistleblowers, and with that, we will now proceed with the filing of appropriate cases with everybody, not just...
So ayan ha. Ito naman, ipapakita ko lamang po sa inyo yung dahilan o yung bagang masasabi nating sinabi nitong kanyang mga abogado.
Hindi ba sa...
Ay, sorry naman. Hindi yan, ha? Ito.
Alright, and now,
Hindi yan. Saan na yun? Nawala. Wait Chotomate. Kasi importante ito eh. Dito Ay, wala. Hindi ko pala na ano. Anyway. Importante kasi yun ha. Anyway, ito muna po bago yan. Ibay muna natin ng usapan. Ito muna ang pagdating kay Romualdez. Nakakatawa ko kasi ito. Ito, napaka-importante rin pag-usapan ito dahil ito isa sa mga isang katawa-tawa na namang ginawa ni Remulla. Ito si Remulla talaga, no? Kahit saan mapunta, talagang katawa-tawa ang ginagawa. Mapanoorin niyo?
Hindi ba sa lahat ng investigation, itinuturo si Zaldico na may malaking kinalaman dito sa maanomalyang flood control project? Pero ayon kay Ombudsman Crispin Remulla, teka. Hindi po pwedeng si Zaldico lang yan.
Agoy!
Iyan ang sinasabi ko.
O yun, palakpakan natin. Tama, palakpakan pag mali banatan. Hindi lang daw naman si Zaldico. Sino pa ba?
Hindi pwede. Pwede bang si Saldico, ang chairman ng House of Appropriations Committee, pero yung mas mataas sa kanya, walang alam dyan?
Kasi siya, napakatagal ding congressman ni Congressman Boying Rimulya bago naging DOJ at bago
Yes.
naging ombudsman.
Sabi ni Ombudsman, hindi pwede. Dapat dyan managot din
Sino?
si dating Speaker Martin Romualdez.
But teka lang, di ba ang usually naman
Palakpakan natin. Dapat din daw managot si Romualdez. Ang lupit talaga. Ibang level. Kailangan. Yeah? Ang galing naman. Ang galing. Palakpakan natin yan. O sige, tuloy niyo. Ang
isang mga House leadership, binoboto ng kapulungan yan eh. Di ba? Ganun ang anong paliwanag niya. Bakit? Siyempre...
Dahil siya daw ang naglagay ng chairman ng House Appropriations Committee.
Ayaw.
Kay Saldico. Kaya yan naupo sa pwesto.
choice niya, tapos binoto sa plenaryo.
Kung sino yung gusto ng speaker, siyang masusunod.
Ayaw.
Hindi ba?
Tama yun, tama.
Kaya dahil dyan, ang sabi niya, kung kakasuhan si Saldico,
Ano?
kakasuhan din ng ombudsman si dating Speaker Romualdez.
Yung palakpakan.
Gago!
Aba, kakasuhan daw si Romualdez.
Ang sinasabi ko, Boying Rimulya yan,
Boying Rimulya yan.
ombudsman,
Ombudsman ito.
Aba?
mabigat.
Ito ang dating DOJ Secretary.
Mabigat.
Ito ang nagsabing, yes, you can bend the law
Yo.
to please the people. Yes, sir.
Yes. Hindi, mukhang sa tingin ko, kung talagang desidido siya at interesado, abay, gawin siguro. Di ba?
Ano ang dapat mo na itanong dyan?
Kailan nila kakasuhan? Talagang kakasuhan ba talaga nila?
Kakasuhan.
Aba?
Si Saldico at saka si Speaker?
Sabay-sabayan. Oo.
Aba, di nga. Lupit, ha?
Paano ngayon ito?
Isa pang tanong.
Ang isa pang
Sana
tanong.
matarget mo yun. Para sa sagot na ito.
Ako, hindi ko alam eh.
Di ba may kaso, kailan? Ano pa ang dapat mo itanong?
Ano yung kakaso?
Ayun! Yan, sinasabi
na.
natin.
Yan. Baka magdiwang yan ng... kasi sabi ni Ombudsman Boying, may mga magdiriwang daw ng bagong taon sa
Bilangguan.
pulungan eh. Ano yung kakaso dyan?
Tingnan natin yung kakaso dyan. Tingnan natin, ha? Tingnan natin. Kasi, sabi, di ba, tama naman yung sinasabi nila na sabi ni Boying, meron daw mga ilan na magdidiwang sa loob ng bilangguan. Yun. Naku. Yan kaya, kasama na si Romualdez dyan. Yun. Siyempre, yung mga Gen Z na mga pingtae, sisigaw na naman sila, ikulong na yan, mga kulangot, ikulong na yan. Yan, siyempre, pagka hindi nyo pa ikinulong yan. Tingnan nga natin.
Na, humawa kayo sa inyong mga upuan.
Ayan, hawak.
Sige, nakahawak.
Magsuot kayo ng seatbelt kung kayo nasa sasakyan.
Yan. Naku, parang
Sarado ang mga bintana dahil baka may biglang malakas na hangin.
Seatbelt.
Ha?
para baka mabigla na naman ako dyan.
Magugulat ka rito.
Seatbelt.
Ano ang ikakaso ng ombudsman kay dating Speaker Martin Romualdez?
Ayan.
Kasi may mga
nakaseatbelt
wala naman
ako.
ako kinalaman sa
Ayan,
pagbuo yun eh. Kami huy sa leadership ang 2 taon lang bumubuo niya.
Hindi. Speaker ka, dapat may kaso ka rin. Yan ang sabi ni Remulla.
Okay.
Anong
At
kaso?
ang kaso mo ay gross inexcusable negligence.
Gross inexcusable negligence.
Kapabayaan.
Kapabayaan. Ano pa?
Yun lang.
Ayan lang. Tama siya, nahulog ako sa silya ko dahil doon. Pambihira ang buhay. Buti na lang may seatbelt ako. Di ba? Pambihira. Ang tindi nung kaso na yun, ha? Gross negligence. Hindi. Tingnan nga natin yung gross negligence na yan. Ano ba yung kaso na yan? Tanong natin yung ating kaibigan na si ChatGPT. Gross negligence case. Okay? Case and penalty. Tingnan natin kung ano yung gross negligence. Ayan na. Oh. Ang lupit. Gross negligence in Philippine law covers negligence as source of liability, quasi-delict, provides that those guilty of fraud, negligence, or delay in fulfilling obligation are liable for damages, recognize gross negligence as equivalent to bad faith in certain situation. In criminal case, gross negligence may result in criminal negligence under imprudence and negligence. So, parang mga may hina lang itong mga kaso na ito Mukhang, hindi kasi sabi dito, a public official found grossly negligence may be dismissed from service, suspended, or fined under, ganun. Gross negligence of duty, dismissal from service with loss of benefit and disqualification. Yun lang. Hindi, alam nyo mga kababayan, alam nyo kung bakit ito ang kinaso. Pinapaliwanag ko na ito kahapon. Ito ang kinaso dyan. Kasi, alam naman natin, yung chairmanship ng Committee on Appropriation, yan ay pinagbubutuhan. So, kayang-kayang tablahin ni Romualdez yan. At sabihin niyang, sandali, speaker lang ako dito. By law, hindi kasi pwedeng by theory lang by law, ako speaker lang at hindi po ako ang naglalagay ng chairman ng appropriation. Yan mo pinagbubotohan ng body. So doon pa lang, lusot na kagad. Gago! Kaya tuloy natatawa itong dalawang idol natin
Delayed reaction. Nakakabigla na. Mamaya pakinggan natin mismo. Walang hindi nga krimen to. Hindi, baka graft and corruption, plunder. Excusable negligence lang. Negligence. Unexcusable. Gross unexcusable. Pinano lang pinalala lang. Pero hindi kasi unexcusable Hindi mapapatawad na kapabayaan. Pero durahin mo na yung adjective na yon. Negligence ho ang kaso. Kapabayaan. Parang sinabi mo, gumawa ka sa laysay. Yan lang. Magpaliwanag ka. Talaga naman, ombudsman.
Naku po, patay tayo dyan. Talagang sablay na sablay ho itong inaano ng ombudsman. Kaya tuloy natatawa itong mga idol natin dahil kitang-kita naman po natin, di ba? Ay, nako. Anyway, matindi ho. Ito. Itong isang ano na ito, ang lupit nito. Sandali Medyo muntika na silang magkasagutan dito nung in-interview niya. Abogado nung ni Zaldico. Ang lupit ng usapan nila dito. Itatagalog natin kasi English po ito. Alam mo naman tayo, yan ang ating major. Major sa ating kolehiyo. Major in English speaking. Yeah? Talay.
Attorney Roy Rondain. Attorney Rondain, thanks for taking our call. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Carmina. How are you today?
I'm good. And yourself?
Good, thanks.
All right. So I watched your press conference yesterday, Attorney Rondain, and you said several times there that you had to speak up because the narratives are being skewed. Yeah. Let me cut to the chase, right. Attorney Rondain. What is the truth according to your client?
Grabe magtanong din itong babaeng to. Itong babaeng to medyo may pagkamalupit magtanong ito. What is the truth according to your client? It's not the truth. It's supposed to be the truth. The truth is not a parang may ang tawag doon, merong parang hinaluan mo ng opinion. Hindi. Truth is truth. Hindi mo pwedeng halimbawa, sinabi ko ito ay kulay dilaw, di ba? Kahit ang opinion mo sa side mo, ay sabihin mo, ito ay kulay pula. Hindi, nagsasama lang minsan talaga ang dilaw at pula. Pero ito ay dilaw. Kahit anong gawin mo, dilaw ito. This is the truth. There is no another way of saying this. Di ba? Na yan ay kulay pula. Hindi. Pareho lang sila ng prinsipyo sa buhay. Pero ito ay dilaw, di ba? Kaya nga dito pa lang medyo sa feeling ko na ano na itong abogado na-adjit na ito.
Well, there's no whole narrative because we don't have enough time for me to explain the entire narrative. What I said was we had to recalibrate, we had to correct the narrative because it had gotten so skewed that the people were being misled. I will give you, or my client will give you his entire version of the truth in due time. We're not going to have enough time today, Carmina.
Now, give us a glimpse, Attorney Rondain. I mean, it's the first time that we've heard something from your client through you.
Well,
The first time in months, and people are very curious as to what the truth is according to Zaldico.
For example, people have been coloring the term insertions, and they're saying that there is now general belief that an insertion is illegal. And I explained yesterday that it is not illegal. In fact, it's a very colored term that everyone's been doing it since forever. And the fact that it's been done doesn't automatically imply corruption. Now, part of my client's narrative is that he didn't receive any kickbacks, as claimed by some alleged witnesses, and he did not commit any crime. And the fact that he's being persecuted now indicates to me, anyway, that a prejudgment on his case has been made. Everything else in between will take a lot of time because I don't want to mislead anyone. Again, I'm not inclined to do that.
Since the press conference yesterday, Attorney Rondain, were you able to speak to your client?
Yes, I spoke with him this morning.
And what did he say?
He was quite happy with the press conference because at least he said that some people...
Oo nga naman, kung sobrang dami mong pera, happy ka talaga. Oo. Madami naman talaga siyang pera eh. Liglig, siksik. Di ba? Talaga magiging happy siya.
That people will have heard his side, and he's hoping that those who are sober enough will at least take some of the things I said and some of the things he wanted to convey to heart, and maybe step back and dial down the temperature.
Here's the thing, though. When you listen to and watch the press conference yesterday, it was really more of explanations, right? And sort of like separating your client from the business. Right, and therefore separating what could be his liability, but still there is that anger coming from the people. What does he say? What does he have to say about that anger from the people, Attorney Rondain?
Okay, one thing at a time. Separating his personality as a person from his personality as a stockholder. That's not my invention. That's not my legal fiction. That's created by law. That an individual has a separate personality distinct from a corporation of which he's a member. So if a corporation in which he owns stock commits a wrong, he's not contaminated. It's that simple. That's not a legal excuse. That's not acrobatics or anything. That's the law. Separate corporate personality.
Okay, let me just cut you there. Let me just cut you there.
Sandali. Nagagalit na si ate. Nagagalit na. Ito na. Babanat na.
The way you explain it, some would say, and I want you to answer this, that's a perfect cover-up. That's very convenient. It is the law, yes, but it can serve as a perfect cover-up and a very convenient one. And that your reaction to that and your defense. Go ahead.
It's not a cover that I created. It's what the law says because it's necessary for commerce. Now, if they're saying that it's being used, that the cover is being used as to perpetrate fraud, there's a remedy. They have to go to court and pierce the corporate veil and hold the stockholder liable for the actions of the corporation. It's not ironclad. There are solutions. But you can't blame a person for using a defense that's available to him in law. Now, they're angry about it because... I didn't get the last part of your question. They're angry because I'm using that as a cover?
Well, you perfectly answered it already. I was asking you about, your defense to that people might see your explanation as the perfect cover-up or the convenient way out of this. But as you said, there's a way to pierce that corporate veil. Let me go back now to the other question, which is, how does a former congressman see the anger coming from the people?
I was hoping that the press briefing yesterday would relieve the anger a little bit, would dial it down.
Malabo yun, malabo yun. Hindi, pero in fairness in fairness naman dito kay Zaldico, ako, patas tayo. Kahit yan po, dinimanda tayo niyan. Talagang siya lang ang diniin ng administrasyon na to. Obvious na obvious Para bagang nilaglag na siya. Ito, ilaglag na natin to ng todo-todo sa bangin para lahat ng sisi mapunta sa kanya. Di ba? Parang ganun ang ginawa Para maligtas si Romualdez, para maligtas si Marcos. And I believe the children is the future. I believe may tama itong abogado niya. May tama itong abogado niya in a sense na ito pong si Zaldico talagang lahat ay tila kanya. Kanya yung, alam mo yun, kanya ang sisi, sa kanya lahat ang para bagang siya lang lahat ang may kasalanan. Parang parang ganun At marami ang nadideceive dyan. Ako naniniwala ako may kasalanan.